Is everyone enjoying their dinner? Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, sir. I know you do, and I feel it. I feel the love. We want to thank Unite Here Local 57 for a beautiful dinner service. And speaking of dinner, have you all checked out the exclusive silent auction item by Chef Jamilka Borges? This is a one-of-a-kind private champagne dinner for up to 15 people at the brand new Richard Deschamps restaurant, Sally Ann's on 6th Street. Thank you to Jamilka and Megan Washington from Veuve Clicquot. So let's get back to the program. As many of you know, last year, the Teal Ball was all virtual. And while we are so happy to be back to celebrating together, we want to make sure that everyone had the opportunity to celebrate. So now I would like to welcome all of the guests who are viewing the event from the comfort of your own homes. Welcome. So let's kick off the night with this very special 50th anniversary produced by PAAR board member Audra Mitchell and Mike Howe of Focus Factory. I hope you enjoy the video.
When I think about PAAR's 50-year history, I think about how much of an impact PAAR has had here in Western Pennsylvania and how important it has been to Pittsburgh and Allegheny County.
Wow, that's a lot of years of work that they've been in on the Pittsburgh community. You know, it feels empowering to me just knowing that we have such an amazing organization in Pittsburgh. I know they have a long history of being one of the first organizations of its kind in our state.
The progress that I've seen in the work with PAAR in particular and sexual assault in general is that people are coming to understand there is no classic victim. Victims are not just women. Assailants are not just strangers. It's not just people in heterosexual relationships or contacts. It literally could be anybody.
A lot of times when people think of PAAR, they automatically think of sexual violence. However, in my works with PAAR, it's beyond that. It's gone beyond that.
In my partnership with PAAR, I've been able to watch them transition into what the community needs, where it's not just been, focusing on survivors in the moment, but also really looking at prevention and really circling around the community needs around human trafficking and sexual exploitation.
When I think about PAAR's 50-year history, it's hard to remove PAAR's history from my own context. So what I think about is it was a long time ago. The early battles were really hard, and I get emotional when I talk about it, really. They were very vibrant days filled with a lot of fight and a lot of integrity.
I feel that PAAR is important to our community because of the staggering prevalence of sexual violence. They provide a safe place for victims of sexual violence to come to be healed. It's a safe place for them to be heard and also to be believed.
Having somebody every step of the way to help support our survivors is so important to their health and well-being and kind of moving to the next level and helping clear that path for them from being a victim to being a survivor.
You're accepted here. It's safe. You can talk to anybody. You can say anything and it's okay. How many places are there like that in the world? Not that many,
It was important for us to partner with PAAR because we are dedicated to building a safe space, but you can't build a safe space for some without building a safe space for all.
I'm very grateful for our partnership with Pittsburgh Action Against Rape. I don't know if all of the folks who work at PAAR, from their advocates to their prevention professionals, know how much of an impact they have on our campus, but it's huge. And we as a university are just so very grateful for them.
They're an integral part of working in conjunction with the police, with the district attorney's office, to get the information needed to help not always prosecute the case, but do the best thing for the victim.
All the things, if you just think about all the things PAAR does on a daily basis and then multiply that over 50 years, it's spectacular. And I hope it goes on for another 150 years.
My hope for PAAR in the next 50 years is that they will continue to reach out and continue to support those who need it most, including those in marginalized communities who may be even more affected by sexual assault.
In the next 50 years, I want PAAR to be able to work with college campuses more closely. So I really would love to see college students working closely with PAAR to have like our own branches, kind of like a sorority.
When I think about PAAR's opportunities over the next 50 years, I'm really excited to see them continuing to do what they have already done so well, which is to help the Pittsburgh community. And that goes in terms of victims, it goes in terms of advocating, it goes in terms of helping workplaces and individuals become better entities to support individuals, both victims and then to prevent issues of sexual harassment, assault, and abuse.
My vision for PAAR's next 50 years would be to continue the work, continue to grow, continue to impact people. You know, it's an ongoing relationship to help people.
Good evening. Esteemed guests, it's my honor to welcome you and thank you on behalf of PAAR's Board of Directors for attending tonight. A heartfelt thank you to our political leaders, our community leaders, our university leaders, foundation partners, advocates, allies, and corporate and organizational sponsors. You continue to ensure that PAAR offers the much-needed services to survivors and their families. Together, we will tackle the scourge of sexual violence and sexual assault with the ultimate goal of eradicating it forever. I want to take a moment to recognize and thank Lisa Perry, our amazing executive director, who has been in her role for just 1 year this last February. Her steadfast servant leadership and vision inspires and guides us to offering better services to more individuals. Her focus and priorities supported by the board are to ensure that we reach those most marginalized, whether it's our communities of color, our refugee populations, our LGBTQ community, or our citizens with disabilities, so that those services and supports are accessed by all. Lisa, thank you for what you do every single day. I also want to thank the PAAR staff, Sadie Restivo, Corey Hart, Lisa Katalesic. I know, they're amazing. Look at this. And all the others at PAAR that made tonight possible. Thank you for your tireless efforts in making the Teal Ball such a success. Lastly, I want to acknowledge and thank our PAAR Board of Directors. Our board is comprised of fierce leaders committed to the mission of PAAR and who bring their expertise, life experiences, and passion to their roles. It takes a different level or commitment and a good portion of your heart to stay in this space, and we are eternally grateful. Can I ask our Board of Directors to please stand? Woo! Thank you, Ann Herod Stock. Thank you, Ann Herod, Vice President. Thank you, Susan Leff, Secretary. Thank you, Katie Harrison, Treasurer. Lisa Aquaviva Polak, Tracy Reed Amont, Jennifer DiGiovanni, Anthony Ditka, Sherry Goldstein, Jamie Hickton, Carrie Cower, Shanika Kennedy, Brian Colehep, Jill Lamb, Lynette Liederman, Audra Mitchell, Shatar Murphy, Alan Pear, Patrick Schultz, Brian Sellers, and Sierra Thomas. Thank you so much.
Hi, good evening. My name is Katie Harrison. I am the treasurer of PAAR's board, so please keep bidding. And thank you so much for everything you've contributed tonight. I am here this evening to present the 2022 Legacy Award. This award honors those who have created lasting change and measurable differences and inspire a new generation of dedicated individuals in our shared mission of ending sexual violence. I am very proud to present this award to Ann Begler. As a trailblazer in the women's movement, Ann Begler played such a significant role in the history of this organization. Not only did she help to change the way sexual assault victims were treated in the justice system, but she also protected and changed the way survivors are able to tell their stories with confidence that it will be confidential. This is key to our work then and now. We are grateful for Ann's dedication to survivors of sexual violence over the past 50 years. I am especially proud to call Ann a mentor and my friend. It is now my distinct honor to introduce Ann Begler.
Thank you, Katie. Well, I have 3 minutes and 5 pages. So I want to thank PAAR. I feel quite humbled, very cared about, incredibly recognized, a little embarrassed, and so proud of everything that PAAR has done and many other agencies from the time I started. And I wanted to say to Ann Hyman that I'm particularly touched to be a legacy awardee with you because our days at PAAR go back together a long, long time. I haven't seen you for a long time, so it makes this special for me. My work, I'm going to talk just a little bit, and I'll try to go faster than you think I'm going to go, but my work at PAAR really was preceded by my work as a prosecutor in the Allegheny County court system, where I was on the crimes pursing unit and did a fair amount of time working with sexual assault victims. And I feel grateful for those days because I think a couple of the things that I learned are things like victim is really a label in the criminal justice system and in other systems. But underneath that label are people who are in incredible pain, turmoil, trauma, that becomes exacerbated by the system that they're in. And I think that when I understood that, I began to work differently as a prosecutor. And the other sort of sad thing I learned was that we have great judges, and we have other judges, and everybody needs consciousness. And I actually had a case one time where a young woman was assaulted by her mother's boyfriend, tied up in cords. And fortunately, we won the case. But in one of the conciliations, the judge said, you know, I wonder when we're going to really see a real rape where somebody's like grabbed from out of the bushes. So I want to say we've come a long way. Not long enough, but a long way. Ann Pride was a mountain mover. I'm gonna read just a couple of these, and then I'm going to skip over a bunch of pages. But I think it's important because I think in today's world where so many rights are being eroded and we are in an amazing struggle to save democracy. It's important to not take for granted that everything that's been gained over 45 or 50 years will remain the same without a lot of commitment, vigorous fight, and not letting ourselves be polarized and keeping our eye on where we need to go. So Anne, Anne was involved in so many things, we couldn't really begin to name them in the amount of time that I have. But I learned important lessons in the PAAR case, and I think she came to me because I'd known her before in feminist work, and she knew I'd been a prosecutor. So the first lesson she taught me was at the early stages of the case when she got a subpoena for records and we were in court, and Judge Cappy, who many of us came to love and admire as time went on, said, I don't have any choice, but you have to produce the records. And Anne said, I'm not producing the records, you'll put me in jail first, and my toothbrush is packed. So I learned a big lesson in no means no. And then one of the first things we did is we tried to expedite the case by getting a King's Bench petition and go directly to the state Supreme Court and bypassing an intermediate court level. And we had no idea this was going to be Justice Larson in the beginning. We didn't know what anybody knew about rape. And Anne said to me, be bold. You have to be bold. So I thought, okay. So I went to my bookshelf and pulled out the most excruciatingly blatant book about the history of rape. And I gave it to the justices' law clerks, who I happen to know and who are really nice guys. And I think that early decision and what they knew and their knowledge, while there may have been differences at the end of the case, really started to form an energy that came from pieces of the system itself. The other thing that I learned from Anne is it's really the client's case. So when we started the PAAR case, I said to Anne, the best thing and only thing you can expect is a judge is going to want to have an in-camera hearing to review what's in the document. And Anne said, the judge is not going to review what's in the document. I said, well, this is really what will happen. And she said, you don't have to be my lawyer. If you cannot fight for a woman's right to privacy, I'll just get another lawyer. And I remember that lesson for a long time, that it's really the client's life. It's not our life as a lawyer. And I would say I'll say the last thing. I have other things, but I'll say the last thing. And that is that the glory of a victory and the glow of a victory is great. But we have to remember it's never an end. It's only a beginning. And those were many lessons, and I just say one more. So Paulette Balog, who worked for the courts at the time, did a lot of groundwork and thinking about this kind of a case. And the lesson from Paulette was for me to remember that we don't always have to be the person who's up front. There is a lot of work behind the scenes that happens, and a lot of people who do a lot of hard work. And even in this case, what happened in the PAAR case was that the court decided that whatever that document was that was kept was not a verbatim statement of the victim. And because it wasn't something that someone read, looked at, authenticated, signed off on, it just wasn't admissible. It was after that a case came out of Indiana County, the Wilson and Altman cases, after the passage of a statute, that we really secured a real privilege. And those were long, hard years of creating a statute by the Pennsylvania Coalition Against Rape, getting a different statute when that one was challenged, and many years of litigation. So this was a long, long road with a lot of help and a lot of support and a lot of fight by a lot of people. And I'll end by just saying this, and I know a little bit over time, but this field has grown so much over those years. And what PAAR has done about this particular issue, along with PCAR and other advocacy organizations, is amazing. But you know, we did a lot of other work. We help people understand that false memories aren't false memories. They're actually real memories and delayed recall. And we started to talk to judges about false memory not existing, and we ran a program through the Conference of State Trial Judges with experts to talk about sexual abuse. We created Children's Issues Roundtable in the Family Division to bring psychologists and therapists together to talk about these issues. It's been a big world with a lot of hard work, and it's weird after this passage of time to get an award for the pieces I did in all of those things, because it wasn't just me. And I hope that everybody will work really, really hard and we have to save everything we've gained, and we can't let destruction happen to our Constitution. And thank you very much. Thanks, Katie. Oh, thank you. Thanks.
Good evening. My name is Megan Schrader. I've been a staff member at PAAR for close to 10 years. I'm the supervisor of those really noisy, lovely people back there. This is our victim response team. We're the 24-hour program at PAAR that provides advocacy and accompaniment services. I'm here this evening to present the 2022 Legacy Award. This award honors those who have created lasting change and measurable differences, and who inspire a new generation of dedicated individuals in our shared mission of ending sexual violence. I am beyond proud to present this award to Ann Hyman. For more than 25 years, Ann was a lifeline for hundreds of victims as they navigated the precarious waters of the legal system. In her time at PAAR, Ann spent countless hours talking with victims, reassuring them, answering their questions, and simply listening. Her dedication to survivors in their most vulnerable moments is why she is so deserving of this award. The history of PAAR is rooted in advocacy and activism. In her time at PAAR, Ann helped to form our understanding of advocacy, always with the survivor at the center of her work. Many times, I have heard Ann talk about the early years of PAAR. Back then, Ann helped with the front desk, until one day when a survivor was headed to court and needed someone to go along. So, Ann jumped on the bus and headed to the courthouse. Ann, in that moment, and in many other ways, you have been a reminder of the why in our work, and the importance of being brave. Today, your legacy continues to live on in our work. It is now my distinct honor to introduce Ann Hyman.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm not taking the stage, so have a seat. My work at PAAR has just been a wonderful experience for myself, my coworkers, clients, families of clients, people in the law enforcement, across the board. It's been a wonderful, enriching, warm, brave, humbling experience. And I so am grateful for the many people I've met along the way and who've touched me in the way that they've made their own journeys, and how they've inspired me, and how they've enriched me, and how they've enriched the people around them. It's been a blessing. Thank you so much.
Congratulations to the 2022 Legacy Award winners, Ann Begler and Ann Hyman. And now I would like to take a moment and thank our VIP reception sponsors, Angela and Paul Campbell, and UPMC, yes, and UPMC McGee Women's Hospital. It is now my pleasure to introduce you to PAAR's Executive Director, Lisa Perry.
Woo, what a night. Welcome to this very special evening, and thank you so much for being with us here tonight. It is my sincere honor and privilege to lead this amazing agency with such a rich history and mission that is steeped in empowerment, service, and healing. It is wonderful that after 3 years, we are able to gather with each other again to celebrate our 50th anniversary. Yes. Tonight is about commemorating our journey, highlighting our impact over the years, as well as looking ahead to what's next for the agency and how best to care for our clients. When we first started out in 1972, the gutsy women that founded PAAR were made up of fierce and committed volunteers. We offered 24-hour helpline along with our medical and legal advocacy work. Today, we are a team of 47 therapists, advocates, educators, intake and scheduling specialists, case managers, supervisors, assistants, and directors. We also rely heavily on our volunteers, just as we did in the early days. They round out our work with approximately 50 volunteers, on-call advocates, and helpline support. In order to carry out our mission every single day, and provide the challenging trauma-intensive work on behalf of our clients, it takes a team like mine. They are a vital component to this work, and it would not and could not be done without them. If I could take a moment and have my staff and volunteers that are here tonight, the rowdy ones in the back, stand and be recognized once again for their dedication, their fighting spirit, hard work. Yes, thank you so much. Here's what we know. 1 in 6 women and 1 in 33 men experience sexual violence in their lifetime. And if you're BIPOC, LGBTQIA+, disabled, poor, homeless, or from other marginalized communities, the statistics are even worse across the board. For PAAR, that means we have a lot of work to do. As an agency that strives to help clients address trauma through counseling, supportive networks, and creating a sense of hope and healing, we know that exposure to such traumatic situations like rape, sexual abuse, neglect, harassment, and sex exploitation have serious long-term health consequences. 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys experience sexual abuse before the age of 18. Children who experience trauma are more susceptible to devastating health outcomes throughout their lives as well. So when we think about how our work can impact our clients, we must do all that we can to lessen the effects of adverse childhood experiences and be a part of positively impacting the social determinants of health. In the midst of all of this, PAAR serves approximately 3,000 children and adults of all gender identities each year, some as young as 2 years old. In our last year, we accompanied 480 clients in the hospital setting, counseled 100 incarcerated survivors. We provided advocacy for 75 clients through the Title IX process on campus, and 480 clients through the legal system, while also providing 745 clients assistance in reporting to the police. Our educators are in schools and colleges, businesses, community agencies to help educate and prevent sexual violence. And while prior to the pandemic our numbers were even higher, Last year alone, we were still able to reach over 11,000 in person and virtually through education and prevention programming. The effects of sexual violence, thank you. The effects of sexual violence are devastating, leaving an imprint on victims' lives that can diminish their quality of life and dim their light. What's even worse is that many survivors don't report these crimes or seek the help and healing they so desperately deserve and need due to the public scrutiny, shame, and fear in coming forward with their truth. Sexual violence is one of the most underreported crimes, with about 67% of incidents remaining unreported altogether. PAAR's vision is to create a place of hope and healing for all victims of sexual violence. And that starts with being committed to extending our reach and deepening our connection in the greater community. We have been working hard to build bridges and increase our community currency throughout the city in new and impactful ways. There's a quote by Maya Angelou, and it reads, "I've learned that people will forget what you've said, people will forget what you've done, but people will never forget how you made them feel." This is our work ahead, making sure that every individual we care for feels seen, heard, and most importantly, believed. As we move forward, we are committed to supporting our clients and community. We will focus our efforts on creating a more diverse and inclusive agency, expanding our reach, and developing programming that is responsive to and reflective of the needs of those we aim to serve. Our helpline, which operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, it continues to ring off the hook. Clients continue to seek counseling, both virtually and in person, and requests for trainings, workshops, and programming have increased rapidly. The need still exists, and therefore PAAR will show up and respond. Your being here this evening with us shows just how much support there is for survivors in our community. Take that in for a moment. Together, there are 555 people in this room. Together, we are stronger and better able to leverage our collective action, compassion, and support. I want to thank you all for being here this evening and being champions for building healthier and safer communities in your schools, businesses, neighborhoods, places of worship, organizations, families, and this city. We all know that Pittsburgh is unique and that there's about only 2 degrees of separation from almost everyone. We know full well that relationships matter. We know that collaborations are key, and our commitment to healthy, safe, and thriving communities is the best way for us to all create the impact we need for transformation. How we show up and lean in, it matters. You see, we see clients during some of the worst moments in their lives. For some, that's immediately after an assault has occurred and they are in the emergency room during a forensic exam. It could be after many restless days when a child discloses sexual abuse and families are trying to figure out their next steps. It can be that someone is experiencing a restless night and they call our helpline to speak with someone to help calm them down and affirm them. We are sometimes waiting with a client in the courthouse to support them as they muster up the courage to face their rapist on the stand. And then there are times when it takes about 20 or 30 years after a sexual assault, and the memories come flooding back, and a client reaches out for support. We are on the front lines. We are the ones that hold the hope for victims and survivors. And as a community, we are the helpers. We are the believers, the champions that our clients desperately, desperately need. This is what tonight is all about. Because of everyone here this evening and those who are watching from home, our work will continue for as long as we are needed. This is our promise. This is our charge. PAAR remains committed to doing its part to respond, educate, and advocate to end sexual violence. We look forward to working in partnership with those in our community who are dedicated to our mission and our vision. We've been doing this work for 50 years now, and until there's an end to sexual violence, we are not going anywhere. We will be here every step of the way. Thank you so much.
Good evening. My name is Sadie Restivo, and I am the Director of Development here at PAAR. I am here this evening to present the 2022 Inspiring Hope Award. This award honors an individual who has provided generous support and investment into the future of our agency, allowing our mission to continue to inspire hope and healing to survivors of sexual violence and prevention education to the community at large. I am honored to present this award to Angela Campbell. Angela Campbell's philanthropy and dedication to PAAR has made a significant impact in our abilities to continue to provide no-cost services to survivors of sexual violence. Her willingness to leverage personal and professional relationships throughout our community and show others the importance of supporting and believing survivors has left an impact on this agency that will never be forgotten. Her generosity to our own staff members continues to show the level of thoughtfulness to the work that is carried out day after day. Lastly, we thank her for sharing her story and allowing us to be part of her journey. It is and continues to be an honor. It is now my distinct honor to introduce you to my friend, Angela Campbell. And her son, Paulie, who is coming with her.
So I am extremely honored and humbled to accept this award. My journey with PAAR began in 2018. I was running my first 5K and needed motivation to train and get through the race. I signed up on a whim with a friend 2 months before the race and wasn't a runner or any type of athlete. Yeah, I know. I needed a cause that truly motivated me to push me through. I couldn't know then how this decision would impact my life. I chose PAAR because I am a survivor. I was sexually abused as a child for 8 years in my home, re-victimized as a teenager, and struggled with little home support. I lost my childhood, and my very foundation was rocked to the core. I built my life without ever really breathing the words, "I am a survivor." I wanted to raise as much money as possible, and I knew the only way to do that was to tell my story. I sat in my room, writing and rewriting, knowing at the end I was going to push send, and 40 of my closest friends and colleagues would know my deepest, darkest secret. I learned 3 things quickly. The first is I was one of many hiding in the shadows. Women reached out to me, most of whom had never shared their story, but found comfort in mine. Second, I learned I had the most powerful inner circle. Those 40 people in 2 weeks donated $7,000 and flooded me with compassion and encouraging words that I carry to this day. Third, I learned one voice is powerful and does make a difference. I took the long road to get where I am today. My story is 30+ years ago when you did not speak of anything like this. I was stripped of my self-worth. Dysfunction, toxic relationships, pain, and anger is all I knew. And finally, I hit rock bottom. I had to start dealing with my trauma or give up. I struggled with PTSD and had been in a fight or flight mode for so long it had taken a toll on my body and mind that still affects me to this day. I struggled building emotional connections. I was lost and alone and tired of fighting. I had to find a way to my self-worth and learn to live with my scars. I also had to come to terms with the fact that this was a lifelong battle and one I couldn't do alone. The decision to run the 5K forced me to open up and allow people in, and that's where the real healing began. I was fortunate enough to have people placed into my life, very special people, some of which are here this evening. My husband, who has stood beside me through so much, my 9-year-old son, Paul Derek, you taught me how to love unconditionally, and you showed me I was worthy of being loved unconditionally. And my friends, who are extensions of my family, I don't know where I'd be without all of you. I could never express how grateful I am and how you all truly changed my life just by being there, accepting me for who I am, and giving me grace. I am humbled to have this opportunity to stand before you and share my story, because there was a time in my life I didn't think I would make it. I have shared my story over the last few years, not because it's easy, but because I've learned people need a place to turn or just to hear they are not alone, and someone has to speak first. I know I'm blessed. My story has a happy ending, but not all do. We need to continue to fight for those who don't have a voice. My motivation has only ever been, if I could save one person from 1 minute of pain, it will have all been worth it. I know I'm not the only survivor in this room, and please know you are not alone. There is strength in numbers, and we are here to support you. I will stand with you. I am nothing special. We all have the power to inspire hope. Being here tonight inspires hope. Your advocacy inspires hope. Your donations inspire hope. Simply listening and believing inspires hope. You need to understand that your support changes lives. PAAR services are crucial to survival, and please know your commitment, whether it be financial or your time, is vital to making that happen. The ironic part of receiving this award is that it is PAAR and their amazing staff that have inspired hope in me. Their endless dedication to victims is inspiring. They come into work every day to fight the good fight. It is their work that gives victims their voices back. It doesn't take away the pain, but what it does is help victims move through the healing process with as much support as possible, and that is invaluable. And finally, to those that work for PAAR or volunteer for PAAR, thank you. Thank you for what you do. It is your tireless efforts that paves the pathway for victims to become survivors.
All right. Each year, Pittsburgh Action Against Rape celebrates the strength of survivors of sexual violence while recognizing those who eradicate sexual violence in our community. In 2016, PAAR established a visionary award in recognition of individuals or organizations in our community who have made a significant impact in the lives of survivors and in the prevention of sexual violence. In 2018, PAAR lost fierce advocate and board member Laura Ditka and decided to honor Laura's memory by renaming the award for her years of fighting for survivors seeking justice. I am honored to present the 2022 Laura Ditka Visionary Award to Pennsylvania Attorney General Josh Shapiro. While Attorney General Shapiro could not be with us this evening, he made a very special trip to PAAR recently on the South Side office, and we'd like for you to see the video. Thank you.
We are thrilled to welcome Pennsylvania Attorney General Josh Shapiro to Pittsburgh Action Against Rape Southside office. We are gathered here to present Attorney General Josh Shapiro with the 2022 Laura Ditka Visionary Award. Attorney General Shapiro's leadership and unwavering commitment to victims of child sexual abuse has inspired and helped to create a path of hope and healing for countless survivors. His role as Attorney General has led to policy and legislative change that is so desperately needed. Under your leadership, the Attorney General's office has worked tirelessly to investigate, address, and prevent sexual violence affecting multiple populations and settings, including schools, campuses, communities of faith. On behalf of Pittsburgh Action Against Rape and the countless survivors we serve each and every year, we thank Attorney Shapiro for fighting and advocating for survivors and being a fierce advocate for legislation that allows individuals to seek justice and remedies for the crimes committed against them, and to strengthen protections of children in community settings in which they learn, play, pray, and engage.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you, Lisa Perry. And I'm sorry I couldn't be with you in person tonight, but I want to thank everyone at PAAR for the incredible work that you do. And I want to thank Lisa Aquaviva Pollock for her work and for inviting me here tonight. She and her husband, Herky, are good friends of mine, and they're dedicated to strengthening our community. I'm really honored to accept this award named for my friend and former colleague, Chief Deputy Attorney General Laura Ditka. Laura was inspiring, an incredible trial attorney, a passionate advocate, and a kind and compassionate colleague. She was a champion for children and victims, and she founded the first child abuse unit in the Allegheny County District Attorney's Office. And among her many successes in court, she successfully prosecuted 3 Penn State University administrators, including the school president, for failing to alert child welfare officials regarding their knowledge of allegations against serial child molester Jerry Sandusky. She lived the mission of our office to pursue justice without fear or favor, and to give a voice to those who too often went unheard. We're grateful in the Office of Attorney General that her legacy continues to be remembered through this very special award. 50 years ago, when PAAR was first founded, rape crisis centers didn't really exist. Too often, survivors, they had nowhere to turn, and too often they suffered in silence. You've been here in this community, and you've also given people a voice and helped them reclaim their own strength. I'm really inspired by your work, and I'm really proud to support it and to work alongside you on these important issues. We'll continue to hold people accountable in the Office of Attorney General, no matter who they are or what position of power they hold. And we will do all we can to protect victims, particularly our children and the most vulnerable. This award means a lot to me, and I want to say truly thank you on behalf of myself, the entire Office of Attorney General family, and the Ditka family for honoring me here tonight.
It is now my honor to present you with the 2022 Laura Ditka Visionary Award. We thank you so much for your service.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
All right.
Good evening. My name is Lisa Katalesic, and I've been with Pittsburgh Action Against Rape for 15 years. I'm the Director of Administration. I'm here this evening to present the 2022 Every Step of the Way Award. This award honors an individual or survivor who has shown exceptional determination in dealing with sexual violence, or one who has acted bravely as a bystander to help prevent sexual violence. This award honors the strength, courage, and inspiration to create lasting change. I am proud to present this award to Beth Doherty. Beth has a steadfast and unwavering dedication to PAAR. From client, volunteer, PAAR board president to donor, and everything in between, she has been here for PAAR every step of the way. She has demonstrated extraordinary courage, using her voice to raise awareness about the impacts of sexual violence and advocating for change. Her ability to share her story with the world has helped so many find their courage to tell their own story. She is a true representation of what hope and healing looks like. It is now my distinct honor to introduce my dear friend, Beth Doherty.
That was so sweet. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. Nobody wants to wipe out in front of 500 people. It's so nice to see so many of you here tonight to support PAAR. First, I want to congratulate PAAR on this milestone anniversary. 50 years is amazing. You know, helping survivors of sexual violence and helping our community is really superb. Thank you for being here for all of us. I also want to congratulate the other awardees tonight for their dedication to PAAR's mission and to PAAR itself. Ann Begler, Ann Hyman, the Environmental Charter School, Angela Campbell, thank you for sharing your story, and Attorney General Shapiro. Thank you for all you have done and continue to do for survivors of sexual violence. It's an honor to be among you tonight to accept this award. This is very personal for me. As a young child, I was sexually abused by an X-ray technician, and later as a teenager, I was groomed, raped, and sexually abused by my music teacher, and this went on for years before I told a trusted adult. Fortunately, that adult believed me and called PAAR's hotline. PAAR guided her through the next steps, which included helping me to tell my parents, and within 2 years, I was testifying in front of a jury about the horrible rapes and violence that I had experienced at the hands of this teacher. He was found guilty and sentenced to 30 to 70 years in prison. PAAR is there for survivors every step of the way, starting with the hotline, holding a hand during a rape exam, during the police interview and the court process, advocating for the survivor, always putting their needs first. They provide counseling to help people heal from their wounds. They educate our community and teach that sexual violence can be prevented. And this is just some of what PAAR does, as Lisa Perry already beautifully said. Later as an adult, I started having flashbacks and nightmares about the sexual violence that I had experienced, and PAAR was there for me again. They helped me work through the pain, shame, and loss in ways that I had not thought possible. I went through so much ugly, but once I started to heal, I could see just how much beauty there is. Resilience means adapting to a traumatic experience. However, with many traumas, a person may not adapt as easily. The trauma shocks you to the core. Resilience doesn't mean that people don't experience deep pain or take time to heal. It means they can get through, but they need a little support. And PAAR provides that support to thousands of survivors every year. Just this year it was 3,000. They are building and modeling resilience and strengthening the very fabric of our community every single day. Sexual violence and abuse have affected all of us in this room, personally or indirectly, whether we know it or not. Maybe through your own child, family member, a neighbor, or a coworker. Maybe some aren't even sure that what happened to them was sexual abuse. Some may be too devastated to tell anyone. One thing I know with absolute certainty is that PAAR will be here for all of them. And I don't want to imagine our community without PAAR. The incredible heroes and the incredible heroes who are there and committed to doing this work. I have believed in PAAR's mission to respond, educate, and advocate to end sexual violence for my entire adult life. I've been a donor for over 30 years now, and at first, I gave anonymously through the United Way because I was so filled with shame about what I had been through. But thanks to PAAR, things have changed now. That shame is gone, and I am proud to attach my name to this organization. I'm investing in my community. Thank you. Thank you. I'm investing in my community as all of you are here tonight, so thank you. Thank you for being here and being a part of this. And for any survivors out there who may be struggling during one of the darkest times in your life, I'm here to tell you that it's not your fault. You are not alone. It is possible to transcend the darkness and thrive. I am living proof. PAAR is here for you too. PAAR saves lives like mine every day, and they've been doing it for 50 years. And I look forward to them saving lives until they've fulfilled their mission of ending sexual violence. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. This is such an honor. Thank you. Well, I'm staying up here.
Congratulations, Beth.
Thank you.
Yes. And I asked her off stage if she got those glasses specifically for tonight because they're fabulous in teal, and apparently she already had them, so she is like, she was ready for this evening. So, yeah.
It's all that year, all those years with PAAR.
Exactly.
Teal everything.
They look great on you. So now comes the most important part of the evening. This is the part of the night where we want you to dig deep to help PAAR raise $20,000 right now. After hearing all of these stories tonight, I know I've been moved, as I am sure all of you have been as well. You should all have just received a text message on how to make a donation to help raise $20,000. And I want to share a very special number with you, $1,155. That is the cost of one survivor to receive services from PAAR. Now, if you remember from earlier, PAAR services are at no cost to survivors. PAAR serves 3,000 adults and children every year. This means tonight, you are going to personally help 20 survivors get the support that they need.
Okay, so a couple other statistics. I think I shared some of these earlier, but we have accompanied 480 clients in the hospital setting this past year, counseled 100 incarcerated survivors, and provided advocacy for 75 clients going through that Title IX process on the college campuses throughout our city. We provided 480 client support in the legal system and provided 745 clients assistance in reporting to the police. We ask you tonight to dig deep, and thank you so much in advance for your support.
I can almost hear people tapping their phones. This is a good sign.
for one survivor, $1,000.
Yes, it is.
Especially when you served 3,000 this year.
They said they would just kind of tell us. So we're supposed to.
Waiting.
Okay, we are at 5,000. We just got a live update. This is thrilling. All right, let's keep going.
That's right. Let me see those phones.
That's what I was, okay. I wasn't sure if I was allowed to entice you with the after party, but there is one. And so if we reach the number 20,000 very, very soon, there will be dessert. We'll let you get out of your seats. I'm thinking there might be more drinks. It's a whole thing happening. It's gonna be great.
So I hear $500 for a pie.
I like that one.
Sure. Thank you. He was amazing all night. So sweet.
Do we have a drum roll? Or we really...
No.
Sadie's in the back adding everything up.
Mm-hmm. 9,200. We're almost halfway there. This is such an important night for PAAR. It's the 50th anniversary. The work being done in our communities is so vital and necessary so that we can have healthy people and have healthy communities. So we appreciate all of your support tonight, financially and emotionally.
All right, we thank Jody Deaver for her $100 donation.
Oh, wow.
And Laura Garvey, thank you so much for your $100.
Do you want to?
Oh, yeah, Heather Coleman, thank you. Thank you, Heather.
Ooh, someone gave $1,150. Sue and David Jameson.
All right, Sue and David.
Thank you.
You get
Former
extra
board
cookies.
member. Thank you. Alicia Carberry, $40. Thank you.
You want to do it?
Yes. Bet Garcia, $50. That's how it happens.
That's right.
Tony Morrow, $250. Thank you, Tony.
We have an anonymous donation, $20. It's okay. You can be anonymous. We'll still take it.
Is that the number?
Jennifer Lundy, $100. Thank you.
Let's get that money.
Olivia Chopla, thank you for your $50.
I love Olivia.
Say hi.
Oh, another.
Hi, Olivia.
We have a $250 anonymous donation. Thank you so much. Lori Nickel, $250.
Lori Nichols, my sister, watching from Texas.
Oh, that's so nice.
Thanks, Lori.
Francesca Folio, $20. Thank you. Allison Yates, $100. We appreciate you.
Carla Adams, $100. All of these donations mean so much to the people of this organization.
That's my sister.
Oh, woo, all right, we got sisters.
Sarah Begler, $250. Thank you, Sarah. Another anonymous donation, $25. It keeps it, every penny adds up. $200 anonymous. Those anonymous folks are killing it.
Right.
Mary Catherine Lear, $250.
Thanks, Mary.
Anybody else want to do it? Denise Scandro, $20.
Oh, yeah.
Anonymous.
Oh, another anonymous at $250.
Another anonymous. Thank you so much. Jen Blatz, $250. We're getting there.
Dr. Rachel Toney, thank you.
Okay, $40 from Melanie Luke. Thank you so much. We're getting close.
Catherine Perini, thank you. Another anonymous donor. You all are amazing.
Yes.
This is just very exciting in the moment like this. You know, I don't know. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. We just had another $100 and now $250 coming from Jen Blatz. Thank you.
Karen Hartley, thank you. Heather Schmidt, 500. Oh my goodness, thank you so much.
Thank you.
$20 anonymous, thank you. A little bit goes a long way, so we thank every donation coming through. Lori Nickel, 250.
Thanks, Laurie.
Tony Polly, thank you so much.
Another anonymous.
More anonymous money coming in. One for $250 and there was someone for $360, so we thank you.
Barb Garvey, thank you so much. Christy Doyle. Okay, we're gonna wrap it now.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right, we appreciate everybody for donating. We are super close, so continue donating throughout the evening. And now I'm just gonna make a few more notes here. So our silent auction is gonna be ending soon at 9:20. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
We have another donation from Jackie Dixon for $100. Thank you so much, Jackie. Thank you.
We appreciate everybody. Thank you so much. This was so nice to meet you, too. All right, thank you. Yes, yes, thank you. You're good? Okay. Take your time. Thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Okay. We're going to keep those donations coming in. All of the money raised goes to help the incredible work here being done at PAAR. And we thank each and every one of you for donating. Yes, give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you. Okay, and we also still have the silent auction happening. There are some incredible items. There's art by Baron Batch and Mia Tarducci. Of course, the champagne dinner from Jamilka Borges. And if you haven't had her food before, incredible chef, incredible. So I hope you will bid on that one for sure. And then you'll be able to pick up your auction items at 9:30. So just so everybody remembers, the after party is now happening across the hall. Enjoy it and continue to bid high and bid often on the auction. And thank you so much for coming out tonight and supporting PAAR. We appreciate you. Thank you.